AZ, the 52-year-old rap veteran that still makes me want to get fly every single day. Truth Be Told was dropped last year, December. So why in the year 2024 am I talking about this album halfway through the year? Well, that's because every time I mention this album, AZ's 10th studio album, it always just gets a, huh? Who? And to me, that's crazy. AZ is one of the best underrated rappers you will ever come across. And I'm here to tell you, not only should you go and check out my description where I will link his album in Spotify, I'm just telling you right now, AZ kills the game when it comes to lyrical skill versus storytelling. Everything. I just have always been in love with his projects. I'm going to get into why you should definitely give this album a listen. Go check it out. And if you don't like it, hey, come back to this video and say, yo, that shit was whack. That shit was garbage. I don't want to hear that no more. But I can guarantee you, no matter what, you are going to give this album at least a 7.5 out of 10. But first, let's get into that intro.
Makes you think, what's the channel about? What's this really about? It's about teaching life lessons, teaching the youth. It's about top fives, movie reviews. That's what makes you who you are, makes you what you are. There's no rules in this game. There's no parameters. Just truth. So, 2-3 weeks from now, you're gonna wish you subscribed. 2-3 weeks from now, you're going to be looking for Movie AV Impulse. Okay, I'm reloaded. Let's go.
Now, I can remember the first time I heard AZ. He made his first guest appearance on Nas's classic album, Illmatic, on the song Life's a Bitch. If you've never heard it, well, you're living under a rock. That's one of the golden albums of the 90s, period. I mean, there are a lot of albums that came out in the 90s, but AZ's Do or Die was probably, just to me, one of the greats also that came out in the 90s, which debuted in 95. Now, it would take him decades before he came out with Do or Die 2, but in that process, he was making banger after banger after banger. And the one thing that really pisses me off is that Do or Die, if you're not going to put any other AZ album on the billboards, Do or Die definitely deserves that. I mean, just go listen to it if you've never heard it. As a rapper, as a storyteller, as just the guy who went from hustling on the street corner to the rap life, this man's got it all. The man's album discography is insane. But truth be told, his latest album just really went under the radar. My only one gripe about this album is that it's only 25 minutes long. And if you cut out the intro, it's probably more like 24 minutes. And that just really irks me nowadays, because back in the 90s, albums were anything from an hour to coming out with double albums, and you were listening to their music for an hour and a half. Because back then we appreciated hip-hop and we wanted to hear every beat, every line, every bar. We wanted to start comparing Method Man to Ghostface to Raekwon when it came to Wu-Tang and RZA's dropping. So when it came to people in my hip-hop era, it was just one of those things where we listened to the entire album before we even made judgments. Nowadays, y'all people want to listen to albums and just be like, oh, classic, period. Like from the favorite mumble rapper that y'all love. And when you go back and listen to it 10, 15 years from now, you are not going to look at that album the same.
Message!
Nobody appreciates the lyrical skill that he brings to the table. Now, what I will say that brings the album down just a little bit, and the reason why I only give it 8 out of 10 stars, is because some of the beats, they just don't feel that vibe that AZ usually produces. But it's AZ's lyrical skill cadence and flow that just sucks you right into it. And to be honest, there is no skippable tracks on here. The 10 tracks that are on this album, if you X out the intro, 11 if you include the intro, it just flows all together very nicely. Now, I do have my favorites and my top 3, which I'll tell you right off the bat. My number 3 in this album is the GOAT, and I mean, just listen.
Muscle mix muscles with the brains. It's fuck you if you tongue tussle. Hustle through the pain to put it plain. I'm Big Daddy Kane and Lil Wayne. Fugu, butter, goovles, and some poodle spitting slang.
And then just sucking me right back into that 90s feeling of when I used to ride around when I got my license. I mean, I was riding on a permit with no adult, but like that's how we did it in the 90s, but rolling and just, I remember my system bumping and me feeling that. So This Is Why is my number 2 favorite song.
Salute to the 40 plus. Our story is tough. Nowadays I'm a Sandro Page slurring. Pour me a cup. Boot up. What's disturbing is I'm horny as fuck. The king of off. Couldn't tell me it wasn't corny to cuff. Now,
and the last track on the album just happens to be one of my favorites as well, which is Respect Minds. And he's just basically letting you know that eventually, whether it's now or down the road, you gonna learn to respect this man's flow, his delivery, and everything that he brings to the table.
that still Willie shit could never be whack. I'm worldwide with it. In the wings or outside with it. Still a king even off my dean. This how I did it.
Reintroduction, Don't Go Astray, which I love Don't Go Astray because he's talking about watching your friends and your enemies. I love that one. One of the greatest. Again, just sliding under the radar. He is one of the greatest, and he tells you, and in that song it's just crazy, which leads right into amazing. This man is doing something right. I Still Got It, that one's crazy too. When it comes to AZ, if you go and listen to this album in his discography, you will not be disappointed. He is a top tier lyricist. Y'all have to remember, this man came out in a generation where if you did not have lyrical skill, you were not going to survive in the rap game. And this is why most of the 90s rappers are still relevant today, because they have proved to you over and over and over they got flow, they got hustle, and they can talk about whatever they want, and you're gonna listen. So I encourage y'all to go check out this album. Shout out to AZ. Hopefully one day, maybe when I get big as a YouTube channel, I can actually like sit down and talk to you and have some kind of live thing with you, because I just want to pick your brain on how it was to try to survive. You just staying loyal to the craft and always being yourself. To me, that is the craziest thing. He has always been himself and never tried to hop the bandwagon to try a different style. He just rides that beat like when you ride in them luxury cars, sitting on them rims, bumping that system. God damn, I love hip hop, especially back then. Anyways, look for more YouTube shorts. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. Anyways, love y'all. Hit that subscribe. Peace.
Thank you. You love me. You really love me. You're not going anywhere.